Hey there, I am back with another Free the Pip Friday, and today we're going to be looking at one of the decks from the 2021 Patreon package from Stockholm17. This is the Notorious Gambling Frog Green Gilded Edition. Now, this was my first year as a patron for Stockholm17 and couldn't have been happier with the package. And the very first one that I opened up was this one here, the Notorious Gambling Frog. The deck itself is limited to just 500 in the Gilded Green version. He hinted that he may be thinking about a more standard version of the deck as we get into 2022, but very hard to get a hold of one of these, especially if you're not one of the patrons. But this particular deck is actually inspired by a story from Mark Twain. It was a short story, one of the first ones he ever wrote, or at least one of the first ones that launched him out of obscurity. It was called The Celebrated Jumping Frog of Calaveras County. I wrote it back in 1865, and it was the story of an old habitual gambler who went by the name Jim Smiley, who one day caught a frog. He named the frog Daniel Webster, trained it to jump on command, spent 3 months training the frog. Well, after he trained the frog, he decided to place a bet on his frog because he'd like to bet on everything. So he bet anybody $40 that his frog could jump further than any other frog in Calaveras County. Some stranger took him up on the bet, but ended up cheating Jim out of his money when he snuck a handful of bird shot into the frog's mouth. And Jim finally figured out the swindle after the stranger made off with his money when he picked up the frog and bird shot just kind of poured out of the frog's mouth. So funny, weird little story. Like I said, a very well-known one for Mark Twain fans out there. But that was the story that that Lorenzo drew on for creating the deck that you see here. So let's get into it, see how he did. All right, starting off with the tuck case. So it's done on a material. This is actually the same material that was used for the Quartermaster decks, which were part of last year's Patreon package and part of the Eye of the Ocean campaign that I'm super excited to get a hold of. This is the same paper that was used for that, but an uncoated version of it. So no coating on it, kind of gives it that raw matte finish to it overall. It has a beautiful image on the front here. This is based on an old 19th century image, but one that was modified by Lorenzo for the artwork for this tuck case. Features a really dapper, well-dressed frog there. Love the illustration, has that beautiful vintage look. And he's got the little two of spades in his hands because, of course, he is a gambling frog. You get the S17 and the Stockholm17 logo there on the side. And then nice kind of Victorian looking font with Notorious Gambling Frog. And then some simple little embellishments and decorations all the way around. Love the color scheme on this, that forest green and then mixed with that sort of vintage painting style in the middle. At the bottom, you can see it's a 2021 deck and the Roman numerals at the bottom. And as you turn to the sides, it says playing cards, and you can see some little staining here. That's not where I stained the deck. That's actually part of the design overall, kind of lending to that vintage feel overall. Nice little touch, I think. And then the other side, poker size. Bottom has the ad copy. You can see that it's a limited run of 500. So this is not deck number one, but one of 500 overall decks. A Gilded limited edition. And these were made in China. These were printed by WJPC. Top, this has some leaves kind of forming a little bit of extra design there on the top. And then the back has an embossed version of the back design of the cards. So really nice kind of greens and yellows on this one. And really nice subtle embossing done throughout the deck overall. As you open up the inner flap, you can see through the little thumb cutout there, has 500. Of course, an allusion to the fact that there's 500 total copies of this deck. And a little dragonfly there on the inner flap. Your little silhouette of a frog and a dragonfly, of course, because the frogs eat the flies. And as you open up, no interior printing, but first look at the beautiful green gilding that was included on this deck. And really super nice, very clean gilding. That green, of course, very fitting for the frogs. Nice mirror finish on it and super clean all the way around. Really nice job on the gilding. Matches beautifully with the back design of the cards, which feature that same sort of color scheme that we saw on the tuck case, that kind of vintage yellowed look, the kind of off-white mixed with the greens and the kind of earth tones throughout. Really beautiful and well-balanced back design overall. Obviously, focal point on the top and the bottom is going to be those dragonflies. I really like how they kind of got some translucence to the wings as well. You can kind of see the background design a little bit through the wings, which is a really cool little effect. And then a relatively simple design. You'll see elements on there that kind of seem inspired by nature or by flies themselves, like on the sides here. And then finishes out with a nice thin white poker border around the edge that's kind of slightly broken up by elements of the design inside. So really nice, well balanced, very kind of classic feeling back design to this one. Really great job on that. All right, now turning to the cards. Man, really like that green gilding. All right, so you get a trio of jokers, and of course they feature our hero here, that gambling frog in different poses, wearing his really dapper outfit there, the green overcoat with the vest and the fancy pants there. Really nice kind of poses, each one of them holding some playing cards, of course, a gambling frog. So you have the 2 of diamonds in this one, a whole fan of cards on this joker, and the other one, he's got the 2 of spades down to his side. So all 3 of them just read the joker at the top. Again, really nice artwork. I like the style that he chose for this one quite a bit. And a bit of a mainstay in several Stockholm 17 decks, it is the 17 of spades. So of course, Stockholm 17, you kind of builds around the number 17 quite a bit. And so nice little gaff card and a unique one for Stockholm. All right, then into the aces. So your main ace is going to be your ace of spades. Features a large gold metallic ink lined spade pip there in the center. Very classic shape to it. You get the Notorious gambling frog and then the nice shape of the dragonfly at the bottom. Background here has some kind of writing in that gold ink. I believe really hard, I couldn't read what was there, but I imagine that's just sort of a segment of the famous short story from Mark Twain. And then the Stockholm logo, Roman numerals, and a little bit of writing down there at the bottom. And once again, letting you know that this is one of 500 decks. Pips and indices in the corner. These are actually done in a super dark green tone rather than your classic black, but in all 4 corners as well. Always a nice little touch if you want to use this for gameplay. It means you can fan it either from the left or from the right. So you can fan it either direction, makes it equally usable for left-handers. Nobody ever thinks of the left-handers. The other 3 are all much simpler aces. They feature that large pip in the center, kind of an orange-red for the red cards, and then that, I think it's super dark green on the black cards. And then each one of the pips kind of lined with a little bit of gold to them as well. So there's your aces. Number cards, nothing too special. You do get the pip and index in all 4 corners, just like the other ones, but pretty classic layout, only slightly customized pips on these. So there's your spades and then into your hearts. Definitely a much oranger color on the red. Don't know if that's coming through on the film. And then into the clubs and finally the diamonds. But definitely went with a much more standard feel to this deck overall. And that sort of standard theme continues to a large degree on the court cards themselves. I mean, they are fully customized courts, but they're definitely patterned after your classic bicycle courts. Love the color scheme that he chose on this. Those greens, the golds, and the orange red really pair well together. You can definitely see elements of Lorenzo's style in the courts if you've seen some of his other courts, but he went with a very classic feel on these overall. Now, I'm not normally a fan of standard court cards, and I would call these in that sort of standard realm, but for me, I still really like these court cards. I think he did a great job with them, and they just fit the theme of the deck so well. And you will see his one little classic addition that he does on court cards quite a bit. A few of them are going to include little Latin phrases like tempus fugit, which just means time flies on the Jack of Spades. All the other courts kind of follow the same pattern, definitely inspired by your classic courts, but given a little bit of extra life from Lorenzo's hand as you go through. There's your clubs. Oh, there's another Latin phrase, ipsa dixit, which I believe means he said it himself. There's the king of clubs. I really like that one. I love the hair on the king of clubs there. And then finally the diamonds. And that is the deck. Definitely a much more standard feel. Doesn't go super heavy on the theme, but a really well executed deck overall. As far as handling, these actually handle pretty smoothly. Fans are going to be a little bit tougher, mostly because of that gilding. So I think it's going to need a little bit of breaking in before you can really fan this. effectively. So that gilding is the only thing that really holds it back from being a pretty solid handling deck. You may not be familiar with WJPC handling, but they do, in my opinion, a pretty darn good job with their handling overall. So no real complaints on that front other than what the gilding is going to hold you back from doing. That said, uses of the deck. You know, a deck this rare, obviously most people are going to keep it on the shelf. In many cases, sealed, just a collector's deck overall, and can't really blame people for that. For me, the design, though, is really meant to be used for gameplay. The Notorious Gambling Frog really wouldn't want it any other way than for you to just break this out and use it for poker night. So for me, if you are going to use the deck, I think that's where it should be used. But like I said, most people obviously going to keep this as a collector's deck and can't really blame them for that. Anyway, that's it. That is the look at the Notorious Gambling Frog Green Gilded Edition. A beautiful deck overall. Is that my first experience with the Patreon from Stockholm17 and couldn't be happier. This is just the first of several decks that were part of the package. So really excited to maybe dive into a few more of those in future Free the Pip Fridays on the channel. I hope you enjoyed this look. Make sure to subscribe for more deck reviews, more unboxings, and of course, more Free the Pip Friday. That's it for now, and I'll see you for the next one.